Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to my BA first year students for the 2025-26 session. I'm your professor, and I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide as we explore the incredible world of English literature together. So let's just jump right in, shall we? So, the whole point of this session is to walk you through your entire syllabus in a really simple, straightforward way. We're going to cover everything: the structure of the course, all the fantastic texts you'll be reading, what the exams look like, and, even touch on some of the amazing career options this path can open up for you. Let's get to it. Okay, first things first, let's get a handle on the basics of your course. It's always good to build on a strong foundation, so we'll get all these little details sorted out right from the get-go. Now take a look at this. This is basically the blueprint for our course. You can see you're in BA first year, your subject is English literature, and this paper falls under the minor I category. But the most important thing I want you to notice here is the title, World Literature. See, we're not just sticking to England. We're going on a global literary adventure. It's going to be great. So you might be wondering, okay, what's the payoff here? What am I really going to get out of this? Well, it's so much more than just reading stories. You're going to learn how to analyze poetry from 3 different continents, how to unpack really complex social issues in Indian plays, and how to spot the big ideas behind major literary movements. Trust me, you'll walk away from this course with some serious critical thinking and communication skills that will help you in any field you decide to pursue. All right, let's get into the heart of it all. We're going to start our journey right here, at home in India. Unit 1 is all about Indian poetry, and it really sets a beautiful, thought-provoking tone for the rest of the course. In our very first unit, we're going to look at how 2 of India's greatest spiritual thinkers used poetry to speak to the nation. We'll explore Swami Vivekananda's To the Awakened India. It's this powerful call to action. And then we'll dive into Sri Aurobindo's Krishna, which is, well, it's a deeply mystical and beautiful poem. And see those keywords at the bottom? Think of them as your secret tools. They're the concepts that will help you unlock the deeper meanings in these amazing works. Okay, so from the philosophical heights of poetry, we're now coming down to earth and right onto the stage. Unit 2 is going to throw us headfirst into the world of modern Indian drama. And here, you're going to read 2 really important, game-changing plays. First up is Badal Sarkar's Evam Indrajit. It's a classic example of what's called theater of the absurd, which is just a fancy way of saying it explores how strange and sometimes meaningless modern life can feel. Then we have Mahesh Dattani's Tara, which is a really powerful and honestly heart-wrenching play about gender and social bias. Don't worry about big words like existentialism, we'll break them all down. Just think of them as different lenses we can use to understand what the characters are going through. All right, time to travel. For Unit 3, we're crossing the seas and heading to England. We're going to dive into British poetry from a really exciting time of change and creativity known as the Romantic Age. Get ready to meet 2 absolute giants of literature. We have William Wordsworth, a master of writing about nature, and we'll read his lovely poem, 3 Years She Grew. Then we'll get swept away into this incredible, dreamlike world with S.T. Coleridge's Kubla Khan. Now, I want you to forget everything you think romanticism means. We're not talking about love stories here. This is about the awesome power of nature, the freedom of imagination, and this fascination with the sublime and the supernatural. So we're staying in Britain, but we're moving from its beautiful poetry to the sharp, witty, and sometimes very strange world of its theater. Unit 4 is all about British drama. And what I love about this unit is the contrast. You get 2 completely different plays. On one hand, you have Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. It is hilarious, a brilliant comedy of manners that makes fun of the upper classes. And on the other hand, you got Harold Pinter's The Caretaker, which is much darker and much more unsettling. It's a type of absurdism. What's interesting is that both plays are critiquing society and class, but one does it with laughter, and the other does it with a very powerful silence. For our final stop, we're crossing the Atlantic and landing in the United States. Unit 5 will introduce you to 2 of the most important voices in American poetry, and their words still pack a punch today. This quote, it just perfectly captures the spirit of this entire unit. It's from a very famous poem by Robert Frost that we'll be studying. And this whole idea of making choices, of being an individual, of finding your own path, it's at the very core of American literature. So, to wrap up our tour of world literature, we'll explore 2 iconic American poems. We'll read Emily Dickinson's Success is Counted Sweetest, which will make you think twice about what it really means to win. And of course, we'll take a walk down The Road Not Taken with Robert Frost, a poem that's all about choice and destiny. The key words here, individualism, choices, nature, they all point to those big questions about life that these poets were wrestling with. Okay, so we've covered all the exciting things you're going to study. Now for the practical stuff, how you're going to study it and how you're going to be graded. Let's talk about resources and the exam structure. Now, our college library is great, but I always suggest getting your own copies of the main texts if you can, especially the 4 plays you see listed here. You'll want to be able to underline things, make notes in the margins, and really make them your own. And a good anthology, like the one by Elbert S. Oliver, is going to be your best friend for the poetry units. Let's talk about marks, because I know that's on your mind. Your final grade is split in 2. As you can see, a big chunk, 30%, comes from what we call CCE, or Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation. That's your class tests, your assignments, presentations, all the work you do during the semester. The other 70% is your final university exam. So the takeaway here is crucial. Showing up and putting in the effort all year long is just as important as how you do on that final paper. And here's the game plan for that big 70-mark exam. It's broken into 3 parts. Section A is going to be very short questions, just quick 50-word answers. Section B asks for short answers, around 200 words. And finally, Section C is where you'll write 2 big, detailed essays, about 500 words each. Knowing this structure right now from day 1 gives you a huge advantage in how you study and prepare. No surprises. We're almost done with our syllabus breakdown, but I want to end on an inspiring note. A lot of students ask me, Professor, what can I do with an English literature degree? And let me tell you, the answer is probably a lot more than you think. The skills you develop in this course are like a passport to so many different careers. Think about it. The ability to analyze the hidden meaning in a Harold Pinter play, that's the same skill a top journalist uses. That sharp eye you'll develop for finding the perfect word, that's what makes a great editor in publishing. Your ability to build a strong, clear argument is exactly what's needed for the civil services. And today, with content creation and digital media, being a master of language is more valuable than ever. This degree opens doors, believe me. So there you have it. That's your roadmap for world literature. It's a journey that will take us from India to England to America, exploring some of the most powerful words ever written. I'll leave you with this question to think about. Which of these authors are you most curious about? I can't wait to explore all of them with you. I wish you all the very best for a fantastic academic year.
काव्यमाला चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और ऐसे और शैक्षणिक वीडियो देखें।